Let's go everyone. Welcome to the video series on Go programming language, and in this video I am going to talk about how to create and work with arrays in Go programming language. So let's directly jump into the code and understand arrays in Go programming language. Now here is my code, and just a recap, I am having a main function. I am calling a function called arrays, and in this function I am going to write lots of code to explain you about arrays. But before I write even a single line of code to explain about arrays, let me tell you that in Go programming language, arrays are generally discouraged, and most people will prefer using slices instead of arrays. But this doesn't mean that you don't learn about it, you don't understand about it, because arrays are the building block of many things. So you have to know, you have to understand. Whether you end up using that or not, that's a different case altogether. And as far as the recommendation goes, people prefer slices, okay? And you will come to know why in some later videos. Now I'm going to talk about slices, but not in this video. But if you are a C++ or Java programmer, let me give you a hint. Slices are very similar to vectors, okay? Beyond that, I'm not going to tell you, because the topic of this video is understanding arrays, okay? Now let's recap about how we create variables in Go. So I have already created a video on variables in Go. If you haven't looked into that, I'll recommend you to go ahead and look into that video. So we can define a variable by saying var. Var is a keyword, variable name, type. This is the way I define a variable, right? Now I can define multiple variables in one go, which means in one line. I can say var b, c of type int, okay? It is showing me error because I am not using these variables. Let me use these variables as println. I'll say a, b, c. Okay, let me go ahead and print that. Now you know that I haven't initialized this variable, and this is the beauty of Go, because in Go each and every variable is by default initialized to 0. Or if it is a string variable, it is going to be by default initialized to empty space, okay? So in Go, if you define a variable, it will initialize automatically. You don't need to initialize it explicitly, and same is true for arrays also. So if I create an array of type integer, it will be automatically initialized with 0, floating point 0.0, okay? So let's go ahead and create arrays, array variables. So before we go ahead and talk about arrays, let's understand the meaning of arrays. Here I have a variable a, b, c, right? All of them are of int type. Instead of dealing with 3 variables, I can create one array variable which can hold 3 integer elements. And that's the concept of arrays. You can create multiple elements of same type with one variable within one variable, and you access those variables using indexes, okay? So now let's go ahead and create an array. So creating an array is very similar to creating a variable of type int, but we provide a subscript before that and say 3, okay? This is the way you create an array. Look, there is no difference between this and this, other than I am providing 3 over here, okay? And if I go ahead and print it, you can see array is printed as 0, 0, 0, okay? So this is the way we create an array. And we can also print length of the array by saying printf or println. Len is a function of arr. It will show me length of the array, which is 3. Okay. Now there is one difference between arrays in C and C++ and arrays in Go. Arrays are value. In here, assignment means copy. Okay. So if I create a new array over here, var array 2, and let's say 3 int, okay? And if I say arr 2 is equal to arr, fine. And if I say arr 2 zeroth index equal to 100, and let me print ARR array. Okay, what do you think will happen if I am creating a assignment between two arrays? It means that this ARR2 is a copy, which means that if changing the value to 100, it will have no impact on the original array. So whenever you are transferring array or passing array in the function, it is a copy. Okay, by default it is a copy. We will see how we can handle this in Go by passing multiple arrays, which is not a copy. But by default, if you do something like this, it's a plain copy. Okay, now third important thing, arrays length are part of the type, which means that length is part of the type, which means that if I create a ARR2 as 4, okay, array of size 4, this will give me an error because this array cannot be assigned to ARR because these are of two different types. If you can see over here, let me just print it over here, type 3 int as type 4 int assignment. So in Go language, the length is part of the type, which means that 3 array is different. Okay, 3 int is a different type, 4 int is a different type. They are totally different types. And this is very, very important, guys. You will understand when you start writing more code in Go. Always remember, this type is not int. The type is 3 int. Here type is 4 int. And you cannot assign 3 into 4 int, 4 into 3 int. Okay, it has to be 3 to be able to be assigned because only same types can be assigned. Okay, this is also one major difference between C++, Java and Go. Okay, now let's talk about printing arrays in Go, which means we are going to talk about loops in Go language, right? So let's talk about for loop in Go, because we will use for loop or while loop only and only when we have more than one elements. There are other simpler and more efficient ways in Go, but we will start with for loop. So we will say for I declare an assign operator equal to 0. Okay, similar to C++ Java, I is less than length of ARR2, again semicolon, and I will say I plus plus. Then open close curly brace, we will say fmt dot println, okay, array index is equal to comma I comma some space is ARR2 I. Sorry, I. Let me go ahead and run this code. You will see that the arrays are printed over here. Why it's taking time, I don't know. Yes, array at index 0 is 100, index 1 is 0, index 2 is 0. Okay, so this is the way you are gonna print arrays. Now till here things were a bit simple. Okay, but now let's talk about composite literals. This is something you are gonna use in Go quite often, quite number of times. Okay, so this is something you need to understand clearly, which means that let me just clear the clutter and remove everything. Okay, so first let's go ahead and talk about how to create array using composite literals, and we can use declare and assign colon equal to operator. So we can say ARR colon equal to, we will say 3 int. Remember, array type int, number of elements 3 int. 3 int is a type, it's a complete type. Okay, and I'll say 1 comma 2 comma 3. That's all. I have created arrays automatically and assigning value 1 2 3, and I'll say fmt dot println ARR. And if I go ahead and print this, you can see that it will print 1 2 3. Not sure why it's taking time. My system is slow today. Yes, 1 2 3. So this is called composite literals. Okay, you can remove 3 over here and you can say dot dot dot. That is also fine. Okay, dot 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 plays a very important role, especially in slicing the slices. We will talk about that in detail when we go ahead and look into slices, but as of now you can understand that dot 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 means everything. I can now say 4 5, 6, anything, and it will automatically create array of that size. And you can also create array separately. You can say var arr, you can say 6 int, okay, and now here you can say arr equal to this, and the end result will be same. Okay, so I believe that is all about arrays you need to understand at this moment of time. In the next video onwards, we are going to talk about slices, which is very important topic. Now, let me clarify one thing. I talked about variable in previous video. I am talking about arrays in this video. I deliberately made it extremely simple with only few lines of code, because beyond that you do not need to remember it. As we move forward in Go programming language, as we move forward with further things in Go programming language, we are going to understand all those things. No need to complicate anything right now. If you are taking the Go journey with me, make sure that you are following what I am trying to tell you right now. We are going to learn more and more things in the upcoming videos. Thank you all. Thanks for watching. We will meet again. Until the next time we meet, good day, goodbye. You take care.